Sweethearts, how are you doing? It's a beautiful, beautiful morning out. Can you feel the magic? Most of you guys are feeling a little bit calmer today. That's good for now. Remember, I said yesterday that this is going to come in waves, you know. It's going to be intense and it's going to kind of calm down a little bit, give you guys a chance to integrate it. And another little peak and give you guys, and calm down, give you guys another little chance to integrate it. So the next, I titled this one, Trust Within Betrayal. In a gift that I am given is I'm able to assist you guys seeing with the layers within the layers within the layers and decode it. Hello, Adela, Valerie, Michelle. Big hugs and blessings, sweethearts. Helena, big hugs and blessings. So, you look at your journey, sweet ones. You look at the course of this lifetime. And so many of you are coming into a space where you're really tired and exhausted from dealing with this. And we understand that. We understand that in ways that the mind can't wrap around. If you look over the course of your life, the course of your spiritual journey, every emotional wound you have, the core issue can be tied back to one of three core issues: abandonment, unworthiness, and distrust. And all of those things, when you dig really deep enough, and for many who have already transcended this aspect, if you will, when you can get to those core issues, you will find, I said that wrong. Let me restate that. The three core issues are abandonment, rejection, and unworthiness. When you can get to the bottom of those three core issues and see how it is tied into every experience you have had in this lifetime, when you can get to that space where you can see those three things are directly tied into every wound, every hurt, every fear that exists within your human aspect, you come to understand that all three of those are tied into one thing. The grandest betrayal to all of mankind has to do with trust. And all three of those core issues come down to trust. Now, for those, in the religious texts, there is truth and untruth. It is written in allegories and parables. It is for your spirit to guide you on what is to be taken literal, if you will, and what is for you to see through the parable and the allegories. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because everything is interconnected, and I'm going to try and show you, again, the hidden layers within the hidden layers of what is coming up for you and what is about to be presented for you, which is going to be a big, big thing for all of humanity. And it's coming up. In the next few days, all of us are going to face this. And I'm doing this video to help you decode what is about to present itself. Everything is a hidden message, a hidden code, a hidden activation for your DNA. In the Bible, and don't quote me on this, sweet ones, because I don't read the Bible. Now, have I read it? Absolutely. I've read it like 5 times from front to back. I understand it very well. However, the religious aspect of this is, if you go to Matthew 24, I believe it is, and I want to say it is Matthew 24:14 it starts, or Matthew 26:14 it starts. Maybe it's Matthew 26. Anyways, it talks about Judas Iscariot betraying Jesus, and Jesus states within, and again, don't quote me, sweet ones, it states in there, Judas, would you betray the man of God, the Son of God, with a kiss? Now, that talks about the ultimate betrayal. Now, when you can apply, again, everything is written in parables and allegories, the grandest polarity of your experience in the human form is trust and betrayal. You always apply the polarity in order to 0 point something out. And because humanity has been enslaved in betrayal in every single way, the polarity is to trust within that betrayal. Faith is the truth of the trust you behold. That truth is the trust you have in God, the Creator, whatever, the Great Spirit, whatever label you want to give it. Now, if you look at the Kabbalah Tree of Life, and you look at the crucifixion of Jesus in your religious text, the cross that Jesus was crucified on is the cross that exists within every human vessel. It is a vertical axis, which is the 369, and it is the horizontal axis, 465. Now, when two hearts meet, the meeting point is God. The number 4 represents earth in all her glory, if you will. The 4 corners, the 4 coordinates, the 4 directions, the 4 winds, the 4 archangels. I mean, I can go on and on. The number 6, and mind you, we're talking about this part of the cross within you. The number 6 is the meeting point of heaven and earth, the physical plane. You've heard me say many times, and many of us, heaven and hell are not separate. They're the same place. It's all a matter of frequency. And your journey is to bring this cross back into union, heaven and earth. When you connect, 6 represents the physical material world. Now notice I didn't say earth. I said the physical material world. Earth is the beauty of all things. Earth is the perfection of all. The material physical plane, the 6, the meeting point, is when everything begins to manifest on the physical plane for you. Remember, everything starts in the esters and comes down. Now, how does that tie into trust? The greatest betrayal you have given yourself is trust and betrayal. Now, and I say both of those in one betrayal. Now, if you go back to where I said the 3 core everything, every hurt, pain, distortion, experience in your life, that's imprinted in your cellular DNA, goes back to 3 core issues, and those 3 core issues again: abandonment, unworthiness, and rejection. Now, when you apply that and you take it back down to the 1, remember, everything is in a diamond shape. Everything from your in the Merkaba and the tetrahedron, and this is how it goes. All is interconnected. Everything has to go from 1, and it all all meets at the physical plane, at the 6, if you will. And if you go from that baseline and you go up, like let's take the 144,000, say that's the baseline here at the physical plane, if you will. All 144,000 of those come from 12 monad groups. Those 12 monad groups form a trinity. When they all merge together, that trinity forms a 1. The Father, Mother, the Holy Spirit. Now, it goes both ways, as above, so below. Now, when you bring it down to the physical plane, if you will, now you have to make the point down at the bottom, too. And so now when you look at the bottom, if you will, of this diamond, you have all of these issues, right? Let's liken it to 144,441 issues, let's just say. I'm going to use that as an example. When you take that and you bring it down to the core issue, you start on your journey, you bring it down to really, those 144 things can go into 12 groups, if you will. The 12 disciples, the 12 sitting at the 12 zodiac signs, yada, yada, yada. When you bring that down to 1, remember, you bring those 12 down to 3. I just gave you the 3 of the abyss, of the below, if you will. Unworthiness, abandonment, and rejection. Now, those 3, when you bring it down to the core issue, the grandest issue you have in the abyss of the hellish plains, if you will, is trust. Now that trust ties into the fact that abandonment, unworthiness, and rejection comes from the fact that you imprinted that the second you were born, the second you came out of your mother's womb here in the physical plane. You automatically were veiled, and you lost all trust in yourself that created unworthiness, rejection, and abandonment, because you separated yourself from the Creator, from everything that you have always known. That right there began your journey in the human aspect, in human form, that took you on the highway to hell, if you will. When you can look and find those core issues and trace them back to the fact that you have to forgive yourself. You have to love every aspect of yourself, every fear, every demon, whatever label you want to give it. You have to love it back to that. Your journey has been learning how to open your hearts again, to bring down the walls, to bring down the chains, to find trust in every single betrayal you have experienced. The purpose for that is because you learned to distrust yourself from the second you were incarnated. You had to experience that, but it's tied back to the fact that you abandoned yourself from your Creator, from yourself. God dwells within you as you. Remember the cross I was talking about. The meeting point is 6, is the heart. What you are going to come up with. Liken this next experience that is coming up, if you will. However it may present itself for you, sweet ones. Liken this to your heart being weighed against a feather, if you will. You have heard me say you are being asked by Spirit to fully surrender. To surrender to that absolute faith and trust. Now, the human aspect, remember, these energies that are being presented are the last of the patriarchal egoic mind programming that humanity has been enslaved with. It is going away, and this is the biggest, grandest thing you have to face, if you will, to release, because it's the hardest thing for the human aspect to do, is to fully surrender in absolute trust. The reason or the purpose you're being asked to do this, sweet ones, is because your heart has to be fully opened and vulnerable, with no binds, no walls. It has to become transparent. Because only at 0 point is your heart fully transparent and can be lighter than a feather. And that is total surrender to Spirit. Knowing without a shadow of a doubt that you are protected, that you are safe, and that you are provided for. This is that total surrender, and the experience, however it may be presented. You know, it could be something very traumatic. It could be something just as simple as somebody coming up to you and challenging you on your truth. And this is where your faith and the trust you have in Creator. And Creator, you are the living Word of Creator in form, is to fully surrender to the trust that you are all that you are. That you are most powerful. That you are the absolute perfection in the unique expression of that you are. And with that, you have to find the trust in the betrayal, because if you look at the hidden aspects of it, sweet ones, your human form is the betrayal. It's why it's been necessary for you to love yourself back to love. It's not Spirit that is the betrayal, it is the human form, and that is merging heaven and earth. Your human vessel is the betrayal, because the second you were born, you were veiled from your Creator. And to break through the last of the very, very thin veils for all of humanity right now, you have to return to the innocence of before you were incarnated and you veiled yourself. Now you are unveiling yourself, and this is the final unveiling for you, if you will. And with this comes total surrender. No matter what is presented, no matter what the doubts is, no matter what the fear is that arises, you have to love you and your vessel back to love. Your vessel, because your mind had been mind programmed, your DNA has been abducted, shall we say, abandoned from its original template. Do you see how trust and abandonment come in again, and rejection and unworthiness? Do you see how it's all linked? So this is where what is going to be presented is for you to forgive yourself fully. To forgive your vessel for the mind programming that you have been enslaved with. And sweet ones, it's really, really helpful to hear me when I say this, please. Forgive the mind programming. Forgive those who mind programmed you. Forgive the ego. Forgive the betrayal, because you have never been betrayed. It is just the ego mind programming that has convinced you that you have. You are the most glorious, holiest, pure love that there is. And your journey has been to love you back to love, so you can crystalline your form, not the flesh, the form. And so as this comes up, this next intense wave, it is asking you, and again, this is going all the way up through the total solar eclipse on the 21st of August. This is asking you, regardless of what presents itself, in whatever way it may be, to know without a shadow of a doubt, and to trust within that betrayal. Because the betrayal really is only presenting itself, sweethearts, to see if your heart is fully open and you're willing to surrender to the Christ within you, and to Mother, Father, God, which is the meeting point, which is right here in the heart, which is the sixth. In other words, if you put your arms out, if you stand up straight and tall and you put your arms out, your vessel forms a cross. And the second you were born through the womb, you put yourself on that cross, just like the Bible, which is, again, Jesus was not crucified on that cross. It was a parable and it was an allegory. Because Jesus represented the Son of Man, the Son of God, which was man. Man being both women and men, masculine and feminine. It was talking about all of humanity, and the second you were born, you put yourself on that cross, and it was you that you sacrificed through the betrayal of you allowing yourself to be veiled, and separated from the only thing that you have ever known, which is love. And to return to the purity and innocence of all that you are, you have to go through this experience of removing absolutely every aspect of the veils. And that is what is going to be presented to you, is why we have kept telling you to focus within here. There is no such thing as Judgment Day, sweet ones. Because it is you and only you who have judged yourself. God does not judge. Creator does not judge. Creator, it loves all. Dark, shadow, light, whatever it may be. And it all comes down to trust and abandonment and unworthiness and rejection, because you allowed yourself to be veiled from the Creator and all that you have ever known. And that is what these energies are presenting for you, is to fully surrender unto you, into the glory and the innocence and the purity and the love of all that you are, and to trust that your vessel will no longer betray you. That your human physical vessel will no longer betray you, because you have healed it back to 0 point. You have transformed it. You have awakened yourself to all that you are, to the love and the purity of all that you are. And so what is coming up for you, however it may be presented, is to have trust within the seemingly betrayal that is being presented. It is your final initiation, if you want to look at it. It is your final test. It is your heart being weighed against a feather. Because to totally surrender is to fully open your heart to the vulnerability. Because there is no hurt in love. Love is never in vain. And this is asking you to fully surrender and remove the final veil, sweet ones. And allow yourselves to fly and be all that you are. There is no such thing as sin. The veils, sin is spirit intercepted by noise. And that noise is the veils. That noise is the ego mind programming. There is no such thing as betrayal, sweet ones. Betrayal represents the human form, the veils that you had to transcend. You have been made available a new reality, and that reality requires you to fully surrender to the faith and the trust that you behold. And that trust is your heart. When only you can only love fully, unconditionally, with the transparency and the vulnerability of a fully opened heart. And that's what your religious texts have taught you through the allegories and the parables that it was written in. Do unto others as you do unto yourself. Because all hearts meet. And when their paths cross, that meeting point is God. That meeting point is Creator. That meeting point is Six. So allow yourself to stand up and put your arms out and allow you to release the sacrifice that your human form and the ego mind programming has enslaved you in. You no longer have to carry the weight of the world. You no longer have to lock away the weight of the burdens of the world in your hearts. Because truly, it is only in the material physical world that polarity exists. And all polarity stems from the betrayal of trust within trust, and the betrayal of trust within betrayal. There is no betrayal. There was only veils, sweet ones. And you have graduated and transcended those veils in the last initiation you have. And you will be tested to see, through betrayal, just how open your heart is. And if it is as light as a feather. And that is what is being presented for you. Love yourself back to love, sweet ones. Trust within the betrayal. Forgive in every aspect. And forgive the vessel. Forgive the ego. And remove the last of your veils. So you can experience all that you are. So you can experience the full frequency and vibration in every aspect and in every way of the Creator. And fully allow yourselves to open your heart so you can experience your ultimate love story here on heaven. Because hell was just the betrayal of the veils, and it no longer exists. You are on new earth if you allow yourself to be. And the only way to be on new earth is to fully open your hearts to the transparency of vulnerability, knowing that love is never in vain, and the greatest risk you will ever be asked to take is to trust in love and the vulnerability of it. Because even if it seems like you fall in love, for every fall, you rise even higher. Allow yourselves to love, and allow you to manifest and bring into the physical plane your ultimate love story. And that is the dance you have with the Creator. Allow the Creator to make love to you in every way. I love you, sweet ones. Big, big, big hugs and blessings. David says, it's a ton less burden upon your shoulders if you carry forgiveness than dragging anger over burnt bridges. Absolutely. So allow yourselves to fully forgive yourself and each other. I love you, sweet ones. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Big, big hugs and blessings. Bye-bye now.